New buyers or new homeowners. What the fuck is a 4-point in wind mitigation? Insurance can be a good thing. It can also be a shitty thing, depending on your provider. So I say, fuck insurance. But let's start with the 4-point. Think of the 4-point as like a report card that tells insurance the goods and bads and good working orders of the 4 main points of your home: your roof, your plumbing, your electrical, and your HVAC. Now, 4 points are usually required either A, if you're switching insurance providers, they may want a 4-point, check up everything on the house. Or B, if you're purchasing a new home, again, you have to have insurance in order to obtain a mortgage. Well, and you have to have things in good working order in order to obtain insurance. So this is where the 4-point falls into play. Here's a perfect example of a electrical section of a 4-point. As you can see, we'll start with the top here. You'll see your name, the address that's being inspected, the date of the inspection, the year built of the property, which takes place into this whole report as well. In this electrical section, you have your main panel, which is usually the disconnect outside or the main disconnect. Your secondary panel, if you have one in your garage or in a hallway or whatever your sub panel is at. The total amps provided to the home. Scrolling down, any hazards or indications of cloth wiring, active knob and tube, which are all bad things. That section's kind of bad things there. Hazards presence, that'll be determined by the inspector. There's a list there, and then other if they see something else, and if the condition is unsatisfactory, if there is any of those items present. That was just one section of the 4-point, but just know there's 3 other sections regarding the roof, plumbing, and HVAC. And if there's anything docked on the 4-point that is deemed a hazard or an issue or is going to cause damage, and the inspector feels that it should be corrected by a licensed professional, you're not going to be able to get insurance until it's corrected. So bear that in mind. It broke. And as I said earlier, if there's anything docked on the 4-point labeled an issue or a hazard, you're probably not going to be able to get insurance until it's corrected. If you are a current homeowner, you got to get it fixed. If you are a new homeowner or new buyer purchasing from a seller and there's anything docked on there, in a sense it becomes priority number 1 for you guys' negotiations. You're not going to be able to get a mortgage without insurance. And well, if these are issues, you're not going to be able to get insurance. It's got to get corrected. Now what about the wind mitigation? What the hell does that entail? Hey babe, I'm going to go to the store. Love you. Wind mitigation reports are reports that get sent off to insurance that tells insurance how well or not well your home is protected from hurricanes. Usually these are required in hurricane-prone states such as Florida. Not really sure of any other states at this moment. But anyway, it's more or less deductions that you get. So it's what you have or what you don't have to protect your home from hurricanes. It's not required by law. However, if you want those deductions, you get a wind mitigation. It tells insurance how well you're protected. You get deductions. So what are some things that insurance is looking for when it comes to your wind mitigation? We'll start off with the roof. One of the highest credits on the roof section of the wind mitigation for your roof deck attachment is how is your roof sheathing attached to the trusses? Well, the highest credit, which is typically the C credit, is your roof deck is attached to your roof trusses with 2.5 8D ring shank nails that are spaced at 6 inches.
You also have 7/16 or half-inch decking. It could be plywood, OSB. A lot of older homes have 3/4-inch planks, so those meet the requirements. There should not be any missed nails. I mean, there's an acceptance of some missed nails, but the roofer essentially has to do a good job in order to not miss that truss. The next thing is, how are your roof trusses attached to the exterior wall? There's a couple of different credits for this. I would say it's not the highest one, but it's the most common highest one, is a single wrap. A single wrap is a metal connector that is embedded into block wall. Usually it could be attached to wood frame in some certain installations, but commonly it's concrete block wall. It's embedded in there. It wraps over your truss at the exterior wall where your truss meets the exterior wall. There should be a minimum of 2 nails on one side and 1 nail on the other side. If these nails do not meet the minimum requirements, then unfortunately it's not installed as intended and you do not get that credit. The next category from a single wrap down is the clip credit. It is still a metal connector, it is still a roof to wall connection, it is still required to have a minimum of 3 nails. It just does not wrap over the truss or rafter. It is simply just attached to the side of the truss or rafter. You will see this on older homes, wood framed homes. However, if you get too old of an older home, you probably won't have clips and will have a toenail, which is either A, where they didn't have the 3rd nail, or they just have literally 2 nails attaching the truss or rafter to the top plate of the exterior wall.
The other thing insurance wants to know for your wind mitigation, I get it because of science. I think it's stupid, but anyway, they want to know your roof slope. So if your roof is a 612 or more, that is where hurricane force winds can basically push on the angle of your roof and cause damage, or you have less than a 612. Your roof shape or geometry may also play into the role of a wind mitigation. It may get you some deductions as well. Your roof is basically defined in 3 categories on the wind mit. You either have a hip roof, a flat, or an other. A hip roof is like a pyramid style roof with like hip features, or any type of non-hip features like a gable end or dormer that is 10% or less. If it's more, you don't get the hip credit. A flat is defined as like an apartment with like a flat top, built up rubberized coating, that's 5 or more units. And then an other roof is basically any roof that doesn't qualify as A or B. I can make a whole separate video explaining further into all this bullshit, but right now I'm more or less trying to focus on what the fuck a wind mit is and kind of breaking down each section so new homeowners at least have some sort of understanding of how it's broken down. I'm not covering everything at this point. The next thing is your opening protection. How is your house protected from hurricane force winds or windborne debris? This is a really tricky category. Basically, if you want to get the max credit, everything is covered. For your windows, your glass openings, it's an all or nothing. You either have all your glass openings covered or you get no credit at all. You kind of got 2 options in this category. Either A, you have hurricane impact rated windows and doors that are glazed. There are also solid doors that are hurricane impact rated. There is stickers and there is markings to prove compliance. Or if you don't have impact rated doors or windows, you could also get brackets like this and have hurricane rated shutters to cover each glazed opening. The shutters have to be hurricane rated. They will also have a marking TAS 201, 202, 203, missile level D impact rated. There's a slew of codes your inspector's gonna know, but they have to cover all the windows as well. So to kind of wrap this video up, only send insurance the 2 reports that they need, and that's the 4-point and the wind mitigation. I highly highly would not recommend sending your full report that you get from your inspector. And I'll keep making videos maybe later on. But right now, at a minimum, get your fucking home inspections.